Everyone, welcome back to my channel LitStem, where logic meets language. In today's video, we will discuss one of the greatest novels in Indian literature, Godaan by Munshi Premchand. About the author. Munshi Premchand was one of the greatest writers of Hindi and Urdu literature. His real name was Dhanpat Rai Shrivastava. In the beginning, he wrote under the pen name Nawab Rai, but later became famous as Premchand. He was born in 1880 and died in 1936. Premchand is popularly known as the Upanyas Samrat, which means the Emperor of Novels. He is also considered the pioneer of social realism in Indian literature because his writings realistically portray the lives of ordinary people and the social problems of Indian society. Literary importance of Premchand. Premchand is regarded as the voice of the common people. His works focus on poverty, exploitation, caste discrimination, rural life, women's struggles, social and economic inequality. What makes his writing special is that he combines realism with deep human sympathy. He not only presents social problems but also shows the emotions, struggles, and dignity of common people. Some of his famous works are Godaan, Goh-daan, Nirmala, Savasadan, Karmabhumi. Among all these novels, Godaan is considered his masterpiece. Now let's discuss about the major characters in Godaan. Premchand uses these characters to present the realities of Indian society, including poverty, caste discrimination, exploitation, and social change. So, let us understand the important characters one by one. 1. Hori Mahato. Hori Mahato is the protagonist of the novel. He is a poor farmer whose greatest dream is to own a cow and live with dignity. Hori is honest, hard-working, and traditional, but he remains trapped in poverty and debt throughout his life. Through Hori, Premchand represents the suffering of Indian peasants. 2. Dahn. Dahn is Hori's wife. She is strong, practical, courageous, and supportive. Unlike Hori, Dahn openly speaks against injustice and social hypocrisy. She symbolizes the strength and sacrifice of rural women. 3. Gobar. Gobar is the son of Hori and Dahn. He is rebellious and modern-minded. He questions social traditions and wants freedom from old customs. Gobar represents the younger generation and social change. 4. Junia. Junia is a young woman who becomes socially rejected because of her relationship with Gobar. Through her character, Premchand highlights the harsh treatment of women in society and the issue of social morality. 5. Celia. Celia is a lower caste woman. She faces caste discrimination and humiliation. Her character exposes the cruelty of the caste system in Indian society. 6. Pandit Daahn. Pandit Daahn is a greedy village priest. He represents religious hypocrisy and exploitation. He uses religion and caste rules for personal benefit. Through Daahn, Premchand criticizes blind faith and social corruption. 7. Rai Sahib. Rai Sahib is a wealthy landlord. He symbolizes feudal power, authority, and class inequality in society. 8. Mr. Mehta. Mr. Mehta is an educated intellectual and philosopher. He represents rational thinking, idealism, and social awareness. 9. Dr. Malti. Dr. Malti is a modern and educated woman. She is independent, intelligent, and progressive. Her character represents changing social values and modern womanhood. 10. Bola. Bola is a villager and cow owner connected with Hori's dream of owning a cow. He represents ordinary rural villagers and their struggles. 11. Khanna. Khanna is a wealthy businessman. His life reflects urban materialism, instability, and dissatisfaction. 12. Govindi. Govindi is Khanna's wife. She symbolizes patience, sacrifice, and traditional womanhood. 13. Matadeen. Matadeen is the son of Daahn. His actions expose caste hypocrisy and social contradictions in society. Importance of characters. Each character in Godaan reflects a different section of Indian society. Through them, Munshi Premchand presents themes such as poverty, exploitation, caste discrimination, women's struggles, and the conflict between tradition and modernity. The central idea of Godaan is the tragic struggle of poor farmers in Indian society. Hori is a hard-working and honest peasant whose biggest dream is to own a cow. In Indian culture, the cow symbolizes respect, prosperity, religious purity, social dignity. However, despite his hard work, Hori remains trapped in debt, poverty, and exploitation. Landlords, moneylenders, priests, and social customs continuously oppress him. The novel shows how the poor are exploited at every level of society. Symbolism of the title. The title Godaan means, gift of a cow. In Hindu tradition, donating a cow before death is considered sacred and spiritually important. Hori dreams of fulfilling this religious duty, but his extreme poverty prevents him from achieving it completely. This becomes highly symbolic in the novel. Premchand highlights the irony of a society where poor people cannot even fulfill their basic human and spiritual desires. Premchand uses this novel to present the harsh realities of Indian society, especially the condition of poor peasants. So, let us understand the important themes of the novel. 1. Poverty and peasant struggle. One of the central themes of Godaan is poverty and the struggle of peasants. The novel portrays the miserable condition of poor farmers in rural India through the character of Hori. Hori works hard throughout his life, but he remains trapped in debt and poverty. Even after endless labor and sacrifice, he cannot achieve financial security or social dignity. Through Hori's suffering, Premchand shows how poor peasants struggle continuously just to survive. The novel highlights the tragic reality that honesty and hard work are often not enough to escape poverty in an unjust society. 2. Exploitation and social injustice. Another important theme in Godaan is exploitation and social injustice. The peasants are exploited by landlords, moneylenders, priests, upper-class society. These powerful groups take advantage of poor villagers and keep them trapped in suffering and debt. Premchand criticizes a social system where the rich become richer while the poor continue to suffer. Religious customs, caste rules, and economic inequality all contribute to the exploitation of common people. Through realistic storytelling, the novel exposes the cruelty and unfairness present in society. 3. Caste system and untouchability. One of the major themes of Godaan is the rigid caste system in Indian society. Premchand shows how lower caste people suffer humiliation, discrimination, and social rejection. Their relationships, opportunities, and social status are controlled by strict caste rules and traditions. Through characters like Celia, the novel exposes the cruelty and injustice of untouchability. Lower caste individuals are treated unfairly and denied dignity and equality. Premchand strongly criticizes a society where people are judged not by their humanity, but by their caste. The novel highlights how caste divisions destroy social harmony and human relationships. 4. Religious hypocrisy. Another important theme in Godaan is religious hypocrisy. In the novel, religion is often shown as a tool of exploitation. Priests demand money and rituals from poor villagers even when they are struggling for survival. Characters like Pandit Godaan represent blind faith, greed, and social corruption. Instead of helping people spiritually, religion becomes a way to exploit the poor. Premchand criticizes superficial religiosity and meaningless rituals that ignore real human suffering. He suggests that true religion should be based on humanity, compassion, and justice rather than greed and social control. 5. Dreams and disillusionment. One of the major themes of Godaan is dreams and disillusionment. The protagonist Hori dreams of owning a cow and living with dignity and respect in society. For Hori, the cow is not just an animal. It symbolizes prosperity, social respect, religious fulfillment, a better life. However, harsh reality destroys his dreams. Despite working honestly throughout his life, Hori remains trapped in poverty, debt, and exploitation. His hopes remain unfulfilled because society continuously oppresses poor people through economic inequality, social pressure, and unfair traditions. Through Hori's tragic life, Premchand shows how the dreams of the poor are often crushed by harsh social conditions. 6. Women's strength and sacrifice. Another important theme in Godaan is women's strength and sacrifice. Female characters like Daahn are shown as strong, practical, and courageous. Daahn supports her family during every crisis and often speaks against injustice and hypocrisy. Women in the novel suffer from poverty, social pressure, hard labor, emotional pain, yet they become the emotional and moral support of the family. Premchand presents women not as weak characters, but as symbols of endurance, resilience, and sacrifice. Through characters like Daahn and Junia, the novel highlights the important role of women in maintaining family and social life. 7. Tradition versus change. One of the important themes of Godaan is the conflict between old traditions and modern ideas. The novel presents a society that is slowly changing, where younger characters begin to question old customs and social restrictions. Characters like Goh-daan represent the younger generation in modern thinking. He challenges traditional beliefs, caste rules, and outdated social practices. On the other hand, older characters like Hori remain attached to traditional values and social customs. Hori believes in maintaining family honor, religious duties, and social expectations even when they cause suffering. Through this conflict, Premchand shows the tension between tradition and progress, old beliefs and new ideas, social customs and personal freedom. The novel reflects a society standing between the old world and the modern age. 8. Human dignity and morality. Another major theme in Godaan is human dignity and morality. Even in extreme poverty and suffering, Hori tries to remain honest, responsible, and morally upright. Although society exploits him continuously, he does not lose his humanity. Premchand emphasizes that true dignity does not come from wealth or social status, but from honesty, kindness, and moral values. Hori sacrifices his personal happiness to protect his family and fulfill his social responsibilities. Through Hori's character, Premchand highlights the inner strength and humanity of ordinary people despite social oppression and hardship. The novel teaches that poor people may suffer economically, but they still possess dignity, emotions, and moral courage. 9. Rural life and realism. One of the major strengths of Godaan is its realistic portrayal of Indian village life. Premchand presents a detailed picture of rural society, including farming and agricultural work, festivals and rituals, family relationships, village customs and traditions, poverty and daily struggles. The novel realistically shows how peasants live under debt, social pressure, and economic hardship. Characters like Hori and Daahn represent ordinary villagers who struggle for survival while trying to maintain dignity and family values. Premchand does not idealize village life. Instead, he presents both its beauty and its harsh realities. Because of this truthful and realistic depiction, Godaan is considered one of the finest examples of social realism in Indian literature. The novel reflects the real condition of Indian peasants during that period. 10. Symbolism of the cow. Another important theme in Godaan is the symbolism of the cow. In Indian culture, the cow symbolizes respect, prosperity, faith, religious purity, social honor. For Hori, owning a cow is not only an economic desire but also a symbol of dignity and fulfillment in life. He believes that having a cow will bring him social respect and spiritual satisfaction. The title Godaan, meaning gift of a cow, is deeply symbolic. In Hindu tradition, donating a cow before death is considered sacred. However, Hori's poverty prevents him from fully achieving this dream. Through this symbolism, Premchand highlights the tragic irony of a society where poor people cannot even fulfill their basic human and spiritual desires. The cow becomes a symbol of both hope and suffering in Hori's life. To conclude, Godaan is a realistic and powerful portrayal of rural Indian life. Through the struggles of Hori and his family, Premchand exposes major social problems such as poverty, exploitation, caste discrimination, and social injustice in Indian society. The novel highlights the painful condition of peasants who remain trapped between tradition, debt, and social pressure. At the same time, Premchand also presents important human values like honesty, sacrifice, dignity, and endurance. Even in suffering and poverty, the characters continue to preserve their humanity and self-respect. Because of its realistic depiction of society and deep human sympathy, Godaan remains one of the finest examples of social realism in Indian literature. The novel continues to be relevant even today because it reflects the struggles, hardships, and aspirations of common people. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more literary analysis videos.